What's up, Screen Junkies? It is Thanksgiving weekend, which means that 2017 is coming to a close. So what better time than for us to start talking about our 2017 Turkeys of the Year? And we're not talking about the bird that was on the table a couple days ago. We are talking about the movies this year that we found the worst to sit through, the worst for anyone to have to experience. So without further ado, these are the Screen Junkies 2017 Turkeys of the Year. My first 2017 Turkey of the Year is The Circle. And if you didn't see The Circle, then you're most people in America, because almost nobody saw this movie, which is insane because it has a crazy, amazing blockbuster cast. Emma Watson, Tom Hanks, John Boyega, Patton Oswalt, the kid from Boyhood, Eller Coltrane is there somewhere. This is a movie that I watched and kept waiting for something to happen, a plot twist or a big reveal. It seems to be building towards something with Tom Hanks maybe being a bad guy, but no, it's really just Emma Watson gets a job at fake Facebook, and surprise, if you stream your life 24/7, it kind of sucks. The end. The Circle seemed to be written by someone who's never used a social networking site or has never been on a social networking site, has characters that do the dumbest things at every possible turn. So The Circle...
Transformers: Age of the Extinct Fallen Knights, I guess that sounds right, was the first project to emerge from the famed Transformers writer's room, which may be why it feels so labored and even more exposition heavy than most of the Transformers movies. They're really trying to set up a Transformerverse as the main franchise is already barreling down the road at full speed. I guess we shouldn't really be surprised that a story about an ancient group of Transformer Knights stored at the bottom of the ocean who must join with a group of mysterious English lords to protect the secret of a valuable artifact and seek out a junkyard owner who has come into possession of a robotic talisman that's the only thing that can prevent an ancient robot goddess from taking over the Earth is a bit complicated, but here we are.
What's going on here?
Couldn't it just be these Transformers have to shoot these other Transformers just once?
The Emoji Movie is my least favorite movie of 2017 and maybe all time. It's the most cynical, joyless, humorless film I've ever seen, and I've seen a Serbian film. Look that one up, guys. It's just a painful slog through cynical corporate branding for 80 minutes. I guess that's the best thing about it, is it's a little short, but in that time, you're gonna watch the Carpool Karaoke guy and TJ Miller make some of the dumbest jokes. I hesitate to even call them jokes. They're just gonna say words and they'll pause for laughter. And then on top of that, you take Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, Shakespearean actor, one of the best actors of all time, and you turn him into a pile of poop. I can't think of a way to rid himself of his dignity more efficiently than playing the poop in the Emoji Movie. This was a film for children who are already a-holes. If your kid likes this movie, get them adopted. Just leave them at the theater, get in the car, lock the doors, and drive away, because they have a better chance out on the street than they do with you. You failed as a parent.
Book of Henry is the story of a family struggling to survive. There's a genius IQ kid, his adorable and plucky little brother, hardworking waitress mom who doesn't quite know how to be an adult yet, and a neighbor with a dark secret. There's no explosions. This is a movie that aims to genre bend but ultimately gets lost in search of an identity and leaves the audience wondering not so much what happened, but why. Why did that happen? It's a talented cast that is given characters that are so wholly underwritten and frankly cheesy that they end up reading like stick figures randomly bumping into each other more than fully fleshed out characters. This is a genuine head scratcher. It's what a TV movie would have been 20 years ago if they were designed to confuse the viewer rather than teach an important lesson about, I don't know. I don't know what the lesson of the film is. Adults should act like adults and not shoot their neighbors? Call the authorities if there's a domestic issue, I guess. Why are you acting this way? Also, being smart is hard and it's probably deadly. Don't be smart.
And the pinnacle on my Turkeys of the Year list so far is Geostorm. Gerard Butler plays an astronaut. I'll just let that sink in for a minute. Who goes into space because there's a satellite system that can diffuse bad weather across the globe. But somebody's taking control of the system and they're attacking cities with weather. Are you with me? they have to kidnap the president of the United States, who's played by Andy Garcia, and they have to get him out of an arena before it gets struck by lightning a bunch and explodes. Again, all things that happen in the movie Geostorm. Dean Devlin, who directed this movie, made Independence Day 21 years ago, and he and Roland Emmerich have just been just coasting on a wave of Goldblum and Will Smith goodwill for 21 years. Stop going to see these movies. Just watch Independence Day again.
This summer's Tom Cruise star, The Mummy, was the big kickoff for Universal's Dark Universe franchise, and apparently also its epic conclusion. Wondering why nothing seemed to go right for this action, adventure, comedy, horror, fantasy hybrid? Mainly because nothing is clear or entertaining. Everything is an overly complex, muddled slog. There's a ton of exposition here before we even meet our hero, and literally none of it ends up mattering at all. Have you ever left a movie raving about those awesome, mind-blowing explanations? No? Maybe tell director Alex Kurtzman, because he needs to hear from you.
50 Shades Darker was a movie that I was contractually obligated to see as a writer on Honest Trailers, and it scarred me, much like the whip of a dominatrix. This was the continuing saga of the dead behind the eyes Christian Grey and the dead behind the eyes Anastasia Steele's non-romance, where they took out even more of the sexy stuff, and it was really just like a soap opera or like a Cinemax porno without the sex scenes. It was just this psychodrama of two boring people who clearly hated each other behind the camera, trying to pretend that they had some kind of chemistry in front of it. He keeps his pants on in every sex scene, which I'm not mad at, but at the same time, it's very conspicuous. He's always got his jeans on to the point where you think he might be a never nude. I think the most iconic moment for me in this film is in a desperate attempt to add drama in the third act, he crashes his helicopter, and then he, maybe 30 seconds later, just walks back through his apartment just a little dusty, just like he got a little dirt on him, and that was the only lasting stakes from that helicopter crash. And I think that crash is like a good metaphor for the entire film, although that's a little offensive to helicopter crashes because those might be interesting to watch.
Alien Covenant is one that I legitimately wanted to love, but unfortunately, it betrayed me as a fan of the franchise. Covenant had the elements of something that could have harkened back to what made that franchise great. It could have added to it. But by the conclusion of the seemingly endless 2 hours and 3 minutes, it became clear that this is exactly what happens when the studio wants more alien stalking and murder, and Ridley wants the story of his AI boy, David, and David's alien dog, Monster Beast. Why can he pet the alien? We end up with a domino effect of escalating stupidity and shove your face in the goo madness. If I see one more scientist shove their face in the goo, I will literally lose my This movie manages to not only entirely undercut the brilliance of the original film, a story of survival, woman v. alien, but it also completely abandons the mythology Scott set up with Prometheus. Covenant was supposed to address the engineer storyline that Prometheus spent so much time establishing, but he literally blew it up with David, leaving us with nothing but David, his trite motivations, and his inexplicable hair. Why? Why, Ridley?
My next turkey of 2017 is All Eyez on Me, which opened huge during the summer, and then everybody heard about the movie itself and nobody went to see it after that. I don't know how you make the life story of Tupac Shakur, one of the most influential artists of the late 20th century, with perhaps the most burning question-filled unsolved murder of the late 20th century. How do you make that boring? You have a guy playing Tupac who looks exactly like Tupac. You have a great cast, and yet this movie was so hard to get through. I was in the theaters and the 2.5 hours felt like 5 hours. Everything about this movie that wasn't the movie was 10 times more interesting than the actual movie. People said that they were spotting iPhones in there. There was an I walked out on All Eyez on Me Twitter meme. Jada Pinkett Smith said that this movie was full of shit. I don't know how you mess up a Tupac biopic, but All Eyez on Me, you managed to do it. So those are the Screen Junkies 2017 Turkeys of the Year so far. There's a whole other month left in the year. Let's hope that nothing else gets added to this list. Please, not Star Wars. So what are your turkeys of the year? Let us know in the comments below. Did you hate some of these movies as much as we did? Did you like a lot of these movies more than we did? Let us know. We always like to hear from you. Have a happy rest of the Thanksgiving Day weekend, and we will be back next week. Bye.